hey again, Monsters fans, and welcome back to another edition of Monsters OT, presented by University Hospital Sports Medicine here on Bally Sports Great Lakes. Tony Brown here with you, and we have a big show for you today. We'll start, as always, with headlines, but also we drop the hammer again today with our prop swap interview featuring Monsters video coach John Hamre. We'll take a closer look at the power play and what Cleveland tries to accomplish when they've got the man advantage. Also, with the Monsters' third annual Black Heritage Celebration coming up, we'll take a look at a really cool piece highlighting some members of the Monsters organization and all the efforts that the Cleveland Monsters are undertaking to try to continue to grow the game of hockey within the Black community. Also, as always, we'll get to Monsters memories, but we begin, as usual, with headlines. We've got three big items for you in headlines. Let's begin with a check on the I-71 report as we take a look at how Cleveland Monsters players are contributing to the NHL ranks and the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Monsters NHL affiliate. Let's begin with four guys making big waves in Columbus lately, the first of which is Trey Fix Wolanski. Now, we know that Fixie is a fixture here in Cleveland, but he earned his first NHL call-up on February the 8th, and what a moment it was for him as his parents from Edmonton, Alberta, traveled all the way to Washington, D.C., and to make it a perfect storybook tale, Fixie scored his first NHL goal in his first NHL game. Altogether in that initial NHL call-up, 5 appearances for Fix Wolanski, ended up with 1 goal and 2 points, but generated a ton of confidence, I'm sure, with that first taste of life at the NHL level, and that'll fuel him as he tries to get back there to hockey's highest level ASAP. Also want to highlight Brendan Gonce. Now, he's been the Monsters' leading scorer all year, but a recent call-up to Columbus under emergency circumstances has seen him continue his production at the NHL level. Had 100-plus games of NHL experience with Vancouver and Boston prior to this call-up with the Blue Jackets, but he has taken full advantage with 5 points in 7 appearances for Columbus since his recall after, again, being Cleveland's leading scorer essentially coast to coast so far this season. Another guy, a veteran who is beloved in the dressing room and amongst the fans here in Cleveland, Francois Berube, a goaltender, called up to the Blue Jackets again with the Jackets under duress, injuries to both their netminders, and JF has stepped in with 2 wins in 2 appearances so far, a .299 goals against, .923 save percentage for him, and of course, he has been the backbone of the Monsters' goaltending efforts so far this season, and of course was with the team as well in the 18-19 campaign. So a lot of folks around the Monsters organization rooting hard for JF as he continues to excel in his latest NHL chance. And let's not forget about a young goaltender in Jet Greaves, a rookie playing on an AHL deal, recently was released from that AHL deal. I know that sounds like bad news, but this time it's great because the Blue Jackets signed him earlier in February to a 3-year entry-level NHL contract. A young player plays his way into an NHL deal. It's what the American Hockey League is all about. You love to see it, so congratulations to Jet Greaves. He's got a bright future in net, not only for the Monsters, but in the NHL ranks for Columbus, we hope. Moving on headlines here, let's now take a look at a little bit of, bad news for the Monsters, for a player that has certainly taken the Cleveland Monsters fan base by storm, and a guy who's had some great success in Columbus this year, Steniel Tarasov. It was announced on February the 23rd that he underwent surgery. Now, it was successful surgery to his right hip, but it will end his season. So we say, thank you to Steniel Tarasov for his contributions this year. Look forward to seeing him healthy and in the mix for the Jackets in training camp next year. For Cleveland, 11 appearances this season. He went 5-3-3. Also got 4 appearances in the NHL ranks for Columbus, the first NHL action of his career. 2.40 goals against, .937 save percentage for a rookie goalie in the NHL. Not too shabby. So get well soon, Terry. Hopefully we'll see Steniel Tarasov back in action for the start of training camp. And finally, wanted to just tip the cap a little bit to some players out of the ECHL ranks that, with a banged-up Cleveland lineup, have been contributing for the Monsters lately. Robbie Payne has turned into a real scoring threat with 3 points in 5 games, including a couple of goals for the Monsters since he was signed to a PTO out of the ECHL's Adirondack Thunder. Also, of course, Cam Johnson has been the starting goalie recently for the Monsters here, as we mentioned, JF Berube and Jet Greaves doing big things in the NHL. So Johnson has stepped stepped in from the ECHL's Florida Everblades and been great. Through 8 appearances, he's 2-3-2 in net for Cleveland this year. And also a bunch of guys on AHL deals with the Monsters assigned to Cleveland's ECHL affiliate, the Kalamazoo Wings, continue to contribute. Olivier LeBlanc, Zach Jordan, Jake Slaker, among others, doing a great job. So thanks, as always, to the ECHL call-up guys for helping the Monsters in their time of need. Well, that's it for headlines. We'll take a break. On the other side, it's our prop swap interview as we will drop the hammer and take a look at the Monsters power play with Cleveland video coach John Hamre. That's next. You're watching Monsters OT, presented by University Hospital Sports Medicine, only here on Bally Sports, Great Lakes. Welcome back, everyone, to Monsters OT, presented by University Hospital Sports Medicine here on Bally Sports, Great Lakes. It's time for our prop swap interview, and this time around, we're dropping the hammer with Monsters video coach John Hamre. We'll take a look at the Cleveland power play, and it's all presented by Prop Swap. Now, Prop Swap is where America buys and sells sports bets. March Madness is around the corner, and Prop Swap is your place to cash in on the big dance. Every season, Prop Swappers make thousands of dollars by simply buying and selling college basketball teams. Go to PropSwap.com or download the free PropSwap app today. All right, so we are ready to drop the hammer, joined now by Monsters video coach John Hamre. And Hammer, today we're talking power play, so I thought we'd set the tone here for the segment by watching the entire clip all the way through, and then we'll go back and dissect it. But in general terms, the power play can be broken down into phases, right? You start with the breakout. Where do you go from there?
At the breakout, you start out in terms of how do you recover a long clear. You want to generate speed, momentum, gain the zone entry, and then puck possession and set up your in-zone tactics. So it's a lot of activity in a choreographed manner, hopefully generating a lot of speed to culminate in a shot and a goal for the Monsters.
And in this case, that's exactly what happened. So let's, now that we've had a chance to look at the clip, go back and dissect things. Now we're going to begin, Hammer, here with the Monsters in white, moving from left to right across your screen. And what are we seeing here?
So we just started with a breakout, and presumably the opposing team, the penalty kill, made a successful clear. And so you end up going the long 200-foot skate, and then you start out again on a power play breakout with a lot of choreographed motion. The timing is so very important. Tactically, how your power play can generate speed up ice and then re-attack the penalty killers. In this set, we've got the puck carrier, we've got 2 drops. So many of the power play breakouts that spectators see now, there's two players behind the puck carrier, drop option, sometimes a single drop, sometimes all 5 players will come back. But in general, the power play breakout, the timing, all the players are set in positions so that the speed they generate culminates in a real attack mindset at the offensive blue line. You've got 2 stretch players, the puck carrier, and 2 drop players that this puck carrier can relieve pressure and transition the puck to.
So really what you're trying to generate here is, we let the video play a little bit, and please stop it where you see fit, but you're trying to generate speed towards the offensive blue line, right?
Exactly. So that drop occurred roughly blue line. Power play breakouts that result in successful zone entries, those drop plays, my experience, analytics would show happen a little bit higher up the breakout, sometimes in that first half in the neutral zone, because enough speed is generated and you've been able to carry the puck past where a penalty killer can then re-angle, re-pressure. So the drop was made, and we now have a puck carrier. What's really important to see is both the power play, our players here, outlet, now a new puck carrier, the original drop, and 2 speeds on the weak flank. But to understand the power play and attack, you have to understand the penalty kill. They've now got 4 penalty killers lined up, and they have 3 lined up against our 3 on the near puck side. So if we can maybe carry the puck into the middle, kick it out, this player could carry the zone. If they're lined up and we don't have a way to carry, maybe we're going to have to make a wrap or a cross-corner pass. And you see these 2 players coming with speed. This is a 2-on-1 against this lone penalty killer to the weak side as we enter the zone.
Right, so as we watch this now, this is the zone entry, as we call it here, the Monsters into the zone, and you saw there that attempt at a hard wrap, at least, and it bounced out in the slot.
So that play hit a funny stanchion in the corner. It could have been a wrap over where we've got numbers to retrieve. It kind of kicked out, and we're now setting up our power play and understanding a power play set. Conversely, the penalty killers are trying to pressure us. So as we talked in the last segment, how do you pressure an angle on the penalty kill? Well, a good power play has to relieve pressure, beat pressure, get it to an open player to then attack the net. Oftentimes you'd like to say within 2 or 3 passes, generate a shot. So we're now at the kind of the starting point of a power play reset. Jake Christensen, Brendan Gonce, Tyler Sakura, Tyler Angle, Trey Fix Wolanski are the 5 that we see in screen. And we're about to set up what we'd call a 1-3-1 in-zone power play set.
Okay, so take us through that.
Let it roll. And so the puck works itself low, relieves it up high, pause at the point. And so what you now see is here's kind of a layer of 3. Tyler Sakura is going to work his way down to the goal line. Let it run a little bit here, right there, pause. And so what you now see is Jake Christensen's kind of quarterbacking the power play on the blue line. Brendan Gonce is in a half-wall position. He can distribute the puck high, low, middle to this bumper. Sure. Trey Fix Wolanski has worked himself up high, so he's become a threat to attack the net at some point. Tyler Sakura is working space between net front screen tips and the goal line, so he could be an outlet option, depending on how the penalty killers pressure him. The other thing that you see subtly is right here, there's a seam. So many power plays look to make seam passes, left to right, right to left, which forces the penalty kill and the goaltender to move laterally. And when the goaltender starts to move laterally, that's when holes open up that good scorers can find. So this seam is really subtle, and it's the choreographed, it's the timing of all the power play players that make those seams available. A real subtle Tyler Angle as a bumper is going to drift in, which pulls this penalty killer with him, which opens up just enough of a seam to allow one of these passes to occur.
So let's take a look here at what happens when Trey Fix Wolanski gets that puck.
Pause. And you've seen Trey coming down from the blue line, a real nice shot. Tyler Sakura net front screen. Tyler Angle in the slot. He was a pass redirect option. Brendan Gonce is following on the backside as a rebound if needed.
Sure.
The defenseman, Jay Christensen, is an outlet here. Trey Fix Wolanski does what he does. He scores a nice goal, and we're about to see a wonderful celebration.
Yeah, there it is. So, Trey Fix Wolanski gets the goal there, but a great job collectively, as you mentioned, by all 5 players on the power play to make that play happen. Hammer, thank you so much. Great job. We dropped the hammer on the power play. There we go.
You beat me to it. We've dropped the hammer a second time.
Great stuff. That's John Hammery. He is the Monsters video coach, and that was Dropping the Hammer. It's our prop swap interview for today. We'll take a break, but when we come back, plenty more Monsters OT, all presented by University Hospital Sports Medicine, right here on Bally Sports, Great Lakes.
Hockey is for everybody. In Cleveland loves hockey. Cleveland also has a long history of embracing sports to break barriers and striving for equity. Some are born to the game. Some discover it. Some break barriers and pave the way for the future. Monsters Black History Celebration is about recognizing those in the Monsters family on the ice and behind the glass who make the game of hockey the game we love and grow the game for all of us.
I'm Jack Greaves from Cambridge, Ontario.
My name is Tommy Thomas. I grew up in Akron, Ohio.
Went to Cleveland Public Municipal School District at Lincoln West High School.
So I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, this will be my 7th year with the organization, so it feels like it's been a long time, but also a short time.
I've been a fan for about, I'd say a good 10, 15 years.
I'm 70 years old. When I began working here, began my exposure to hockey.
parents said that when I was in the hospital after I was born, I wouldn't stop crying unless there was a hockey game on the TV.
Hockey wasn't anything exposed to me or really my friends that I grew up with.
I grew up near Vancouver in Canada, and hockey is just something that everyone kind of does.
When I started at the Coliseum, that was my first exposure to hockey.
I went to a parochial high school back in the 60s. There's no avenue for the kids to be exposed to hockey, to take up hockey. We had black and white TVs back then, so barely got to see hockey.
Hockey is for everybody, but as you see, hockey isn't everywhere. For every person who's come to the game means a different and unique path to it.
The cold winters there, so everybody's outside in the ponds playing, so it's just natural to be a hockey player there for sure.
Coming up, I didn't even know there was a sport called hockey, if I'm being completely honest.
In our community, there's no avenue for the kids to be exposed to hockey, to take up hockey.
When I was in kindergarten, my dad would always take me out of school and he would take me to the arena by us and he would teach me how to skate there.
Urban areas where we don't have the facilities, or didn't have the facilities. No one can get you to a rink that was further away and you didn't have the equipment given to you, so.
Sometimes hockey gets a rap for not being able to they're kind of exclusive to maybe some communities that can afford it.
Hockey is an expensive sport. It's kind of expensive.
With hockey, a lot of times it's an expensive sport to play, so not everybody's able to get into the sport. So I think if we can continue to have programs that are helping people that are less privileged or in different situations, I mean, it's going to help just grow the game in general for people.
You don't have to come from a certain place or look a certain way to love hockey. You just have to. And once you see it, once you feel it, we know you will.
I didn't know anything until I went to college at Bowling Green State University, which is definitely a huge hockey town and school.
In the 80s, Michigan State, Michigan, and the Big Ten, they were one of the top teams.
Some of my friends invited me to a hockey game and I was like, okay, let's go.
Being an athlete, we used to go to the games, and that was my first real exposure to hockey, and that's what made me like it.
I've been playing hockey since I was about 3 years old. It's so natural there. Everybody's playing hockey. Everybody wants to be a hockey player.
I didn't actually play ice hockey until I was probably 7 or 8. Finally convinced my parents to let us get on the ice a little bit later than most kids would in Canada.
I mean, my parents were huge in me being in hockey. I mean, my dad, obviously, he taught me the game. He taught me so much about it, and they just taught me just different values that I always keep in mind in hockey and in life.
I'm an ex-football coach. Just the competitive nature draw me to the game. I would say the competitiveness, speed.
Well, at first I didn't like hockey, but right now I really love hockey.
It's infectious, you know. If you got any kind of competitive juice in your body, in your nature, you gotta like it. When I got here, I got close to the game. I saw behind the scenes. On a new athlete, you want to know how every sport operates and the rules.
The fan experience, the way the fans come and they enjoy it, I like throwing the pucks out to the crowd, to the kids.
I love it when the team gets warmed up and they get to fighting.
Yeah, I like to see the fights and the quick skating. And
it seems like after the fights, they play better.
While anyone can be accepted in the game of hockey, it hasn't always been that way. And there's still work to do to give everybody a chance to know a beautiful game.
I think hockey in general is trying to become more diverse and recognizing, that it hasn't been diverse in the past.
I think I was the only black guy at the rink at the time watching the game.
I don't see too many African Americans driving the Zamboni.
Hopefully, that's starting to change, and people from all different walks of life and feel like it's a safe space for them to pursue their goals and their dreams.
I mean, there weren't so many kids that looked like me when I was playing, but teams I've been with have been amazing. The teammates and coaches and leagues I've been have been great, and I think it's just makes you comfortable, and it just really just doesn't become a thing that you're thinking about. So I think it's really something that you kind of take for granted at times, I guess, but it is something to really appreciate for sure when you're just considered the same as everybody else.
I've been a big part of this family for a long time, and they accepted me with open arms.
Cleveland and hockey have brought us together. We want to bring the change we want to see. The Monsters and the whole Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse family are committed to providing exposure and delivering opportunity in Black, urban, and other underrepresented communities.
Everybody's not going to be that top goalie, but you can impact the game of hockey. The things that you can do that's not on the ice is important as well, because everybody's not going to be a skater. Everybody's not going to be that top goalie, but you can impact the game of hockey outside of being on that rink.
I get them out there and I get them on the Zamboni. You know, come out and ride with me and I guarantee you enjoy it.
Hockey is for everybody. For everybody who can hold a stick or lace up some skates. For anyone who can see the gold lamp light or hear the horn blast. For anyone who can feel the rush and the energy of the game. For anyone with the passion for the teams and players that represent them, their communities, their city, and the game. If you love the game, help us grow the game.
Welcome back, everyone, to Monsters OT, presented by University Hospital Sports Medicine here on Bally Sports Great Lakes. Tony Brown back with you. We'll cap off the show in just a minute with our Monsters Memories segment, but wanted to remind you guys that right now, yes, now is the time to join the Monsters Hockey Club with a season membership for the 2022-2023 campaign. When you join today for next year, you'll get the rest of the current season absolutely free. That is a ton of games, totally free of charge. Plus, joining has never been easier with low monthly payments available. Visit clevelandmonsters.com/memberships to learn more. All right, time to cap off the show with our Monsters Memories segment, and I'm looking forward to this one. A lot of great memories over the years with one of the Monsters' most distinctive promotions. That's right, I'm talking about Pucks and Paws Night, and that's a chance for you, the fan, to bring your four-legged friend with you to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse to watch the Monsters games. We've had a lot of fun over the years with this great promo night, and it's coming back this season on March the 27th at 3 p.m. against the Charlotte Checkers. Now, you're not only going to just need a ticket for you, but you're going to need a ticket for your dog as well, or cat. I've seen some cats at Pucks and Paws over the years, but your pet needs a ticket. So grab those tickets for $5. Proceeds benefit the Cleveland APL. And also, heads up, watch out for a really cool calendar that the Monsters are working on that'll highlight some Monsters players and their dogs, with proceeds from that project also benefiting a number of local animal shelters. And yes, the answer is yes indeed. There will be adoptable dogs on the concourse at the Fieldhouse during the game from various local animal shelters. So hopefully this is a night where we can unite a bunch of furry friends with their forever homes, as well as just enjoying a great game with some barks in the crowd to go along with all the cheers from the Monster faithful. So again, Pucks and Paws, that's Sunday, March the 27th, 3 p.m. against Charlotte. Well, that's it. That's all for this edition of Monsters OT. We've got a lot of thank yous to hand out, of course, to our great crew who makes this show possible, and our guest today on our Prop Swap interview, dropping the hammer. That was the one and only John Hamry, Monsters video coach. We appreciate his time for sure. That's it for the show, folks. We'll see you next time. I'm Tony Brown. Thanks for watching Monsters OT, presented by University Hospital Sports Medicine, right here on Bally Sports Great Lakes.